Hey, this is Joel Oney at J Money in the heart of the Buckeye State, and I want to personally welcome you to today's episode of the Steel Kings podcast with my good friends Jared Ledford and Eric Olson, better known as the Steel Kings. Be sure to check out jmoneyllc.com for financing solutions for your buildings. And now let's get back to the Steel Kings podcast.
What I'll tell you, dude, is I am beyond excited. I am Jared Ledford. It is time to get motivated about your business. It's time for some personal development. It's time to get out and shake and howdy with people. I can tell you, man, the Steel Kings are. Dude, we have been busy.
What one thing, I mean, if I could say one statement about the Shed Show is that people need direct help from on-market questions.
I'm Jared. He's Eric. We are the Get out in your communities, everybody, and do something good for somebody else. It'll make you feel better. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jared and Eric. We are the Steel Kings, back at you with another episode of podcast today. Eric, my brother, what's going on, man? How are you?
Word up, Mr. Jared. Doing pretty good. Not too bad.
I'll tell you.
Chilling.
I'll tell you what, man. You're out on the road. You're not in the steel building this week, so we got that crossed off the list. You're not in the new headquartered podcast studio that we've seen. Where exactly are you? What are you doing? Well, you can't tell me. It's a surprise. You're traveling.
Well, I'm traveling. I mean, I could say I'm in Blue Ridge, Georgia, which is
okay. All right.
Some tiny little Appalachian town. Doing some stuff.
Probably
for the podcast. There. It's
all right.
You know, it's not 10 degrees. It's like 40.
True story. True story.
It's not Ohio.
We're coming off of a major snowstorm in Ohio. It's been a cruddy few days.
Hands down, I have the dirtiest truck in the parking lot, and its second place isn't even close. My truck is literally, it looks like I drove through Ohio basically and then got here.
I saw you. So Eric called me and he said, "Hey, I need the podcast equipment." And he's like, "Did you grab it from the office?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "Well, I need it Sunday morning." So Eric meets me at the car wash because I'm really anal retentive about my truck. I was in there spraying the ice and snow off my truck. And here comes Eric. And sure enough, his truck was really dirty then. So if he drove from Ohio to Georgia in the middle of all this other stuff, I can't even imagine how dirty it is now. So we're there with you, man. You're out doing what you can, dude. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. We're getting into episode number 3 of our NFBA series. And for those of you that are listening along, I can tell you, we have had such a good journey so far. We've met the president of the NFBA. We've met Morgan, who's in charge of so much over at NFBA. We've talked to Randy Chafee from Building Wins Live. We're getting hyped up, coming up for this NFBA trade conference at the end of February in Oklahoma City. Dude, it's going to be so cool. So at this point, we are about 5 weeks from there, I think, by my math. This is episode 3 of an 8-parter that we're doing. So every one of these episodes for the next few weeks now are just going to be focused on post frame, pole barns, everything inside and out. This week, we're going to be talking with somebody who's becoming a pretty fast friend, man. He's a pretty exciting guy. We just got to know him a little bit this morning before we got on the podcast here. I like to pull the curtain.
I was on their
website.
I was on their website for probably 15 minutes. I think I looked at every tab.
Yep.
I have nothing but good things. I mean, from what I see, and we've been invited to go take a look or just tour them. I'm excited, man. I love connections. I love people that do good business. And
I can tell you the biggest thing, if you're considering getting into post frame and pole barns, if you are sitting there and you're manufacturing, you're selling metal buildings or whatever it is that you're doing, right? You've chosen to take time to listen to us. This is a guy who started out as a laborer. Okay. This is a guy who started out working with his hands, doing it at the lowest of levels. And now he is the executive leader for one of the largest companies in the industry, Burrows, Post Frame Supply. We could not be more honored. He's going to bring with him a wealth of knowledge. He's got his own podcast. He's also just happens to be vice president of the National Frame Building Association, which is the tie-in here for this NFBA kind of discussion. And
Beautiful.
I can tell you, I'm so looking forward to the conversation. Josh Nolan is here from Burrows, and we're going to bring him in now. Josh, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
Hey, I'm better than both of you because it's 55 degrees in San Antonio.
Oh, we know it. Okay.
Okay. All right. It's officially 34 here. We're coming off of a day where it was so cold our kids were out of school yesterday. I can tell you this. I am very impressed with what we see from Burrows. Give us the overview. Tell us. I didn't do you justice. I definitely did not do you justice on this at all. I didn't. So let me know more about you, Josh, more about Burrows, and we'll just jump right into it, man. We'll share as much as we can today.
I mean, you had me blushing. I think you did a great job of introducing me. Yes, I did start in this business very young as a builder, and it was looking back on it. I think I did 10 years of in the field construction, building pole barns in Illinois, and I'll tell you, looking back on it, that experience was I just couldn't put a value on it. It shaped my entire career. I'll tell you a funny story about the NFBA. When I was a builder, maybe a couple of years in, they had a show there, an expo in Indianapolis, Indiana. And that was only about 2.5 hours from where I live. So the company I worked for, we all went over there and walked the trade show floor. And I was so just like in awe of it back then. And I was like, I'm going to be a part of this someday. This is awesome. And so, yeah, many, many years later, I got to be a part of it and serve the industry and be a board member. And yeah, no, it's the NFBA is awesome. I mean, if you're a builder, you're in the post frame industry, whether you're a supplier, builder, whatever, this show's catered to you, from education to trade show. I mean, networking. The networking is, oh man, that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Amen. Sweet.
We're seeing that. I mean, so we've talked about this a little bit. And if you're just catching this, if this is the first episode that you're ever hearing the Steel Kings, the NFBA and the Steel Kings met, I guess, last October at this point, and really discussed how the Steel Kings could bring some content and some excitement for the NFBA going forward. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to give back to the industry that was giving so much to us. As these episodes have progressed, you've listened to Eric and I talk about how we started Five Rivers Pole Barns, how we started Dayton Barns and All Steel Buildings, how we've advanced from being a single shed lot in one location to a larger scale metal building sales operation. And now we're getting into post frame. And we're doing this all by giving you the tidbits, the knowledge, our partners. We want you to come along for the ride with us, because one of the things that we see in this industry that is badly misrepresented is we need more builders. Number one, Josh was talking to us about that offline. I want to get Josh's opinion on that. We need more builders, and frankly, we need more people that are talking about it, because right now it is very difficult anywhere to get a tubular steel building built. The zoning has become it's almost impossible in a lot of places to get something done with a tubular steel chassis. It just is. People are wanting to do barn dominiums. They're wanting to live in these things. And if you are selling tubular steel buildings as barn dominiums, you're not only doing yourself a huge disservice and probably putting yourself at risk, you're really not giving your customers the best. And really, if you're selling something, shouldn't you want to give your customers the best? I mean, that's really where we're at. I'm going to give a quick shout out to J Money, title sponsor of the show. They do a great job with financing on sheds, metal buildings, any home improvement project. We love Joel, the team over at J Money, the team at Defined SEO, Velocity 360, IdeaRoom, and Cal. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for supporting the Steel Kings. If you need marketing, if you need a CRM, if you need a 3D design tool, if you need order management, those are our official partners, and we couldn't be more thankful for them. What I can tell you is this. I want to hear more from you, Josh, about the one thing that you said before we got on the call, needing more builders. Why is that such? We asked you what the number one issue was in post-frame industry right now, and you said builders. Tell us why.
I think it's construction in general, at least from my opinion. you know, we've spent the last few decades just, you know, telling our kids they have to go to school to become police officers and lawyers and doctors and firefighters. And I mean, how many times do you ever hear construction, carpenter, plumber, you know, but, and I've raised, you know, well, I should say almost 3 of my 4 children are raised. And you know, my son, he's in the trades now. And I tried to explain to him, hey, there's so much opportunity in trades. There's, you know, maybe not as you're learning and as you're getting licensed or certified or just getting your experience, but eventually, if you do it right and you become a business owner in any trade, it so much opportunity, so much wealth there to be had, and for a company that's going to do it and do it right. But yeah, I mean, labor it's tough. It's really tough. You go even if you go into trade schools, guys, they're not talking about post frame construction or metal building construction. It's you know, it's traditional methods, and I guess steel has made a pretty good entrance into it, but post frame is non-existent. So the NFBA, and I was a big part of that, put together a curriculum, an actual curriculum to that trade schools and colleges and junior colleges could integrate into their construction programs and start teaching these kids. They're sitting here, they're in trade school. They're not even hearing about post frame. Now they have the opportunity to hear about post frame, right? And so that's a huge initiative that the NFBA
it's good,
is
and it's
on.
good
Yeah.
money, and it's great money to put up a pole barn if you get the right team. There's some of those guys we met at the Knoxville show. Went out to dinner with them. Like they're younger 20s. It seemed it actually, and you know, I can't remember the name, the Brooks brothers. I think they're like roofers by nature, but like they're like 23 years old, and I thought, wow, that's an anomaly. Yeah, because everybody that I've ever met is like, you know, not 23, and so you're absolutely right, man. That's a good point.
What I really like, and I want to bounce off what Josh just said, because we haven't really given the plug for NFBA. If you are building pole barns right now, if you are selling pole barns right now and you are not a member of the NFBA, I cannot tell you how much it would benefit you if you were. It's a very, very small fee. It doesn't cost all that much money. It's something you can write off in 1 month. What I will tell you is I'm looking at the curriculum list right now. Basic principles for post frame construction. There's a certification level for 1 and 2, and all of these things can be done for under $1,000 a piece. And if you are in this industry and you want to be certified by I use the term governing body, but it's a trade organization, right? It's a trade organization. These are the guys who bring all of the big players together. Like Josh is obviously, his main job every day is Burrows. He probably eats, sleeps, and breathes Burrows. He also has his own podcast, which I failed to mention, Post Frame 360. If you haven't checked it out, check out Josh's podcast. It's chock full of information directly about post frame. But what I can tell you is that if you are not doing the most to make yourself better in your industry, why is that? Maybe you need to ask yourself that question. I would spin what Josh said in a different direction about the builders. We could sell pole barns all day going away. We could totally change the way that Eric business and all the people behind me in this office space. You guys know I'm sitting in an office with a group of sales reps and project managers. What I will tell you is we could change our mindset in 2 seconds if we had more people ready to install our buildings. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody on the hook to buy a pole barn, and my biggest issue was our team at Five Rivers, our contracting group, was behind. Right? They just weren't going to be able to get it done in time. And what you end up having is this race to the bottom in a sort of way where people end up just finding anybody that does construction to put up a post frame building. And Josh just hit the nail on the head. You can know your way in and out of construction. You could be doing anything you wanted to do, but it's not post frame. Post frame has its own benefits and limitations. It has its own restrictions and otherwise. You need to know how these things go up. You need to be able to talk about zoning and permitting with your customers, and you need to know it on a level to where you feel like you have the authority to do that. And somebody like me sitting in an office building who sells, I don't hit a nail. I don't work out in the field. I don't do that anymore. My focus right now is getting people what they desire. People buy things from people they like, know, trust, and feel safe with. Randy told us that on the last episode. Okay. But if they buy from me, I have to also know, like, trust, and feel safe with who I'm going to have install that building from my customer. That's why it's very important that we find the right contracting partners, that we all work together, because there's no limit to what we can do if we do that. Is that kind of how you feel about it too, Josh? I mean, I know you look at it from a different perspective because you're in the supply side of it. You're relying on people like me. So I think that brings us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am in the supply side, and I have been for several years. But I also been on the construction side, and I've managed construction businesses, large construction businesses.
For sure.
So I've managed crews of, and sales reps. And here's what I'll tell you. And I'm just going to solidify what you just said. Anybody can. No offense, Jared. No offense to you and your team, bro.
No,
anybody can sell pole barns.
I know what you're
Anybody can sell. If you're breathing, you can sell pole barns. The key is, can you manage a business and can you get the thing built? Period.
Yep.
So,
we know it inside and out. I mean, I can tell you from experience, right? We think we have contractors lined up. They give us their word. They tell us all the right things. They show us a portfolio of work. We've done some vetting. And at the end of the day, if you don't have a backup for your backup, you will get burned. And that's the struggle that I've had from people that listen to the podcast, that know what we're all about, have come to us and said, my shed manufacturer this, my steel manufacturer that. The reason I don't get into pole barns is because I can't know that the building, I can't know what I don't know about the building itself. And if I can't get it installed, I don't want to just be selling building kits that are just going to be sitting in somebody's yard.
Correct.
That's where we're at as an industry, in my opinion. And I'm new to it. I'm still green. That's the recipe for disaster. That's why tube steel has taken off the way it has, because tube steel in this case is affordable. It's economical. If you need an outside storage building, you'd be remiss to not consider putting up a tube steel building. It can be installed in a couple of days, and more than likely, if you're working with the right partners like us at Dayton Barnes or tons of others out there, you would have all the opportunity in the world to get a building up pretty quickly. Post frame hasn't been that quick on the turnaround because there's a disconnect between that sales process and the install process. There's not a whole lot of people who do a one-stop and do it all and organize it. Just like you said, Josh, can you get the thing up? I mean, that's really the nature of the beast, right? I mean, we've had that issue here. I'd be the first one to tell you, Five Rivers Pole Barns, a new company. We have completed several projects at this point, none of which have been 100% perfect, but we stand behind our products. We stand behind our suppliers. We've been happy and honored to work with Graber. We're looking forward to potentially working with Burrows in the future. We need to learn more about how to source the product the correct way. And we want to help you guys along the way to make those good decisions, to be working with the right partners. So you're not calling the 84 lumbers. So you're not calling the local lumber yard that's not going to have everything you need, because you're going to end up with something that you don't deserve, or the customer is going to get something that they don't deserve either. Josh, you're asking, I mean, you told us that you're looking for people to sell, right? You said anybody can sell.
No,
and I believe
anybody can sell.
I tend to think that same way.
So yeah, I mean, we're really,
I think that's
what she did. She's probably trying to butter.
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. I was getting some feedback from somewhere else there, Jared. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, we're always looking to. I mean, what we do here at Burrows is we work with building companies, guys that actually sell and build post frame buildings for a living, right? And it doesn't matter if you're a small operation. We have really, really good clients that the person that owns the business also sells and also works on the crew. Now that limits the amount of volume you can do in a year's time, but I'll take those guys all day long because they're doing a great job, and they care about what they do, and they know what they need to do to make a living, and they're repeat customers, and they're buying regularly, and they're building good buildings. And so, we're always looking for clients, especially from, I mean, our sweet spot here in the heart of the United States is Mississippi, the Rocky Mountains. Doesn't mean we're limited to that. That's just the primary area in
Sure.
which I have actual sales reps out on the ground, prospecting in that area.
And are you guys direct to consumer, or is it all through?
That's a good question, Eric. No, we are not direct to consumer. So, you know, I know that some of our competitors dabble in, we'll sell to the consumer, or we'll sell and build in this area, but we also sell packages in this area. And no, we support our builders. We build builders. We find our success in helping our clients build their businesses.
Wonderful.
So, you know, whatever that means, you know, if they need marketing support, if they, you know, that's kind of what my podcast is. Post Frame 360 is, it's helping educate these guys, our clients, to be better business owners, be better builders, be better business owners.
I'm putting on a webinar in a half hour. NFBA, the NFBA webinar at 2 p.m. today. And it's really business 101. Yep. So it's really geared towards really, we're going to build a foundation today.
Good.
Do you have a Google profile? So let's just start with that. You know, do you have that type of deal? So I get it. I get it. So.
Start with the most basic stuff.
I
really like what you just said, Josh, because you're not taking a slide at anybody. You're not throwing punches. You're just strictly saying what Burrows does and what they do really well. And that speaks volumes for you on character and everything else. Because really what we're trying to do at this point is we're trying to educate our friends who are selling sheds, selling metal buildings, potentially manufacturing sheds, manufacturing metal buildings, to really give Post Frame a look in 2026. That's what we want to do here. If you are between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains, Burrows is probably someone that you really want to get a hold of if you're looking to get into Post Frame in 2026. I can tell you from my personal perspective, as I got to know Josh this morning and was just looking over, you know, how we do these episodes. I think I've told you this before, but I'll tell you again. We ask for a bio. We ask for a headshot. We try to learn more about the businesses that we're bringing on the podcast, because we want to know if Josh comes on representing a company like Burrows. Burrows' name speaks for itself. It's been in the industry a long time. They're one of the biggest players in the industry, just like I said on the onset. And we couldn't be more honored and more privileged to just bring them in front of you. Because if you're hearing us, the truth of the matter is they'd be my first call, truthfully. Based on what I'm hearing right now, if you're in those areas where they can help you out the most, they'd be my first call. That's the truth. Because the first thing that you need to understand when you start to sell pole barns and doing post frame is you have to source the material, and it has to be ready, set, go. Okay. If you're going to take this on head first and you're going to start doing this, let's say the goal is going to be, I want to do one project a month, or I want to do one project every 60 days. The biggest thing that will hold you up is a lack of material. Okay. We talked about not having the installers. We talked about not having the people to put the building up. But if you can't get the materials there, you're screwed from the jump. You're screwed from the jump. And so many people have told me, hey, I was going to do pole barns and I ended up working with X company, and they told me the material would be there in 3 Tuesdays and it showed up in 7 Tuesdays. Or, hey, I got a kit and it was missing half. What I can tell you is the track record speaks for itself. A company like Burrows isn't going to leave you high and dry. A company like Graber is not going to leave you high and dry. We've repped Graber on here before. Josh knows our relationship with Graber. Graber is an NFBA member. They're a great supplier, right? We're not trying to hold back any punches here. What I'm trying to keep you from doing, I'm trying to keep you from going to some random lumber yard in the middle of Timbuktu that promises you the moon and stars and doesn't give you what you deserve. Because at the end of the day, you will get burned. And you have to look at that. You have to really understand that there is a quality control in every industry. And just because you want to save 10% doesn't mean that 10% is not going to cost you the whole deal in the end. Josh, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, there may be some guys
I go on these, so I don't know.
Look, you're spot on.
Yeah.
And what I see is there are people all over the country that they don't even know any better. They may have never even heard of Graber or Burrows or any of us. They may just know, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to go down to my local lumber yard. I'm going to give them a material list, and there's a 150 miles down the road, this guy builds trusses, and over there's a metal supplier. And I've literally met some of those guys right where they're at. I've said, hey, look, what's your biggest hurdle? What do you want to do this year? Well, we need to hire because I need to hire this person and this person. I'm like, wait a minute. What if I told you if you do business with me, you won't have to hire those 2 people this year? Well, what do you mean? Well, you start working out how much time are you spending, to go out and shop materials at all these different places, and what are you using to estimate? And when the pricing's volatile in lumber and steel and it's moving, how do you quote a building, right? And ensure that you're going to meet the profit goals that you have for that project. And the answer is they're not. In some cases, they have no idea. They're just shooting from the hip. And with our program, and we're not the only ones with it, but we help our our builder from generating a lead from the consumer. We help them generate leads. We help them with software that they can estimate their projects. You mentioned IdeaRoom earlier in your commercial. We start with IdeaRoom. We go to SmartBuild. They come into Burrows. We ship the package. We get to your job site. We unload the package. We'll even stage it for you around the job site. Okay. 1 call, 1 invoice, 1 purchase order, 1 sales rep. And guess what? You focus on what you're good at, and we'll focus on what we're good at. And together we'll grow the business. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I love where this is going because as somebody that really is dealer focused, I know with you, it's more with post frame. It's not just dealers. It's this whole thing. It's contractors selling and installing and all these things. But from a dealer perspective, if you are sitting back and trying to get into post frame, just like Josh hit it on the head right there, 100%, you have to give Burrows a call. I can tell you right now from what I've heard and what I've seen from IdeaRoom to SmartBuild to Reality, they're using the same tools that we've been talking about for the last year on this podcast. We love SmartBuild. We love IdeaRoom. And the companies that are working with these companies are the ones that are at the top of the game. When you can put something like a 3D configurator on your website that somebody can click on and see, it becomes a reality for them. And under 30 seconds, that's uploaded into a tool that gives you every material and component breakdown for that particular building. From there, the order process is pretty seamless. There's a couple of checks you have to make inside SmartBuild, and there's a process for placing the order, but it's pretty seamless. Josh just hit it on the head. It can be done really quickly. And this cuts down on so much lost time and bandwidth because, again, what's your time worth? If you're trying to make 10%, like this is the one thing that was hit me, I don't know, it's been about a month ago or so. I had a guy that sells sheds who also does some post frame stuff. And he sells for Graber. I mean, I don't mind saying that. He said, I can get my materials cheaper if I source them locally from the lumber yard. And I said, well, how many times has that been wrong? And he said, well, it's pretty much wrong every time. And we just got to figure it out. And I said, what's that time worth? I said, what, I'm not trying to say anything about pricing or anything else, but in post frame, you have room to negotiate on these prices on these installs with customers. You should know what your labor rates are going to be. You should know what it costs per square foot to put up a 40 by 60 by 12 with, insulated walls, wainscot. There's going to be an upcharge for every piece and component on this building. It doesn't even make sense. Like I run into these guys, well, I'm $12 a square foot. Well, you can't tell me that. You haven't even known what the building is yet. What if I'm wainscot, insulated? What if I'm doing interior walls? What if I have, are we stud framing interior? Are we doing just post frame? What are we doing? You can't just say I'm $12 a square foot. You're shooting yourself in the foot as a laborer, as somebody who's putting this thing up. You have to say I'm starting at $9 and here's $1.50 extra for this, $2 extra for that. And at the end of the day, I might be at $14 or $15 a square foot. But I can tell you, I'm going to take the time on every single project that's in front of me on this build. I'm going to be on it. Because that's the one thing we ran into right out of the rip, Josh, was we had these laborers that came to us and said, hey, we'll do the buildings for $9 a square foot. And I was like, great, let's do it. And then it comes to find out, well, it has Wainscot on there. So we're going to have to charge you an extra 50 cents a square foot. And then
The
insulation this and wall height that. And yeah, garage doors this. And, you know, you have to ask yourself all the right questions. Learn from the Steel Kings. Learn from me and Eric. Okay.
Jared,
what we did was we didn't bite off more than we could chew.
Yeah, we should have called him.
That's what I'm saying. A long time ago.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we do. That's what we do for our people.
We went to
right?
NFBA.
We have these discussions.
Education. You're educating us right now, right? You know,
do you guys charge
I can
for
tell
that,
you
Josh?
again, if you have,
we should. No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, when we sign
the
up,
hope is we'll buy the materials.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're saying,
right?
Hey, you say you'll buy your materials from me, then we're going to invest in you, right? And
that's right.
You know, I have that conversation regularly with people, and well, I would say, well, yeah, you're going to use SmartBuild, right? Okay, yeah, we'll set it up for you. By the way, during that custom setup process, we're like, do you want to include labor in here? Okay, so do you want this to be a turnkey tool, or do you just want your package price tool? The turnkey tool, we've got to talk labor. We got to talk about how do you calculate your labor? What do you add to? You know, do you offer a labor contract? What does that look like? You know, we kind of walk through all of these things just to make sure that, I mean, if we're going to use the tool, we want it to work for you, right? And so we do customizations to it as well. So
I love that. I mean, as somebody who has been struggling for this last year to learn, I mean, learning SmartBuild on its own is difficult. I do 3D configurators all day. The team in here does them all day long. SmartBuild is its own animal. You can do almost anything you want to make the building the way it needs to be for the customer. And knowing it up one side and down the other, I'm sure you got people that know it inside and out. And giving those tools and putting yourself in a position to know more and educate and not just say, hey, give us more orders. It's beyond that. You know, it's beyond that, right? It's you want to educate lifelong customers that are buying from Burrows, using Burrows as their primary source for building materials, and then getting next level buildings built all over your coverage area. Is that a fair statement?
100%. That's perfect. I couldn't have said it any better myself.
I like it. I can tell you this.
I really
you
like.
Will be absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just excited.
I'm having a delay, but I was going to say
no.
Half of selling to a customer is educating the customer what you can and can't do, and what priced. You know, some people kind of know, I guess, what the deal is, but a lot of times, you know, since we're in the metal building and post frame, like a handful of our sales this year have come from a person who didn't really care which one they were getting. I think price was probably more of they ended up going with pole barns because of knowledge that was shared on a like articulation to the customer. And so just to zoom out, you're educating and training the people so that they can coach the customer. And like, honestly, there's no better investment, to be quite honest, than investing in the person who's selling or the person who's building, because they'll never leave you, because you're developing trust with them that they can call you on the job and say, man, I'm over in this corner of the building and can you hit me with the,
right. Exactly.
And that really,
dealers
honestly,
in general.
I would say, I bet you have contractors that have been working for you guys forever.
We have clients that have been with us for many years, and that's the way we want it. Not that they feel like, not that we've done anything to handcuff them. You know, they want to be with us because of the way we've treated them, right, and the service we've given, and that's, it's a testament to our whole organization and what we do. So
dealers are only as good as the manufacturing partners that are behind them. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Dealers can only be as good as who they represent by nature. And I can tell you, you will not find a better partner out there than Burrows. I truly believe that. Burrows Complete Post Frame Solutions. It's burrows-supply.com. Josh, dude, you've been great, man. And we're going to have you back. I can tell you right now, we need to do a little bit different type of setting with you, talk a little bit more about call to actions. What I can tell you is you will be missing out if you are not with us at the NFBA trade show, February in Oklahoma City. We are so pumped up to be there. Josh will be there. Randy will be there. Morgan will be there. All of the people that we've having on these podcasts are going to be there. Burrows is going to have a huge setup. I'm sure that they'll be able to show you anything that you want to know. And it's right in their backyard. That's the best part about it, is the home base for Burrows is in Oklahoma, not too far from OKC. They're going to be having a great time, and we're going to be putting on a good show for all of you at the trade show. You guys got anything as we exit for the week, man? This is it passed too quick, Josh. I can tell you, we have to have you back. We have to talk more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll just leave it with this, because we didn't. I know you've met with others from the NFBA, so I don't. Not sure exactly how deep you went in the event, but there is one thing I want to mention about the event that I think your listeners would appreciate, and that is the keynote speaker, and it's a leading economic consultant of the, what do you call it, the Northeast Atlantic area or something. But man, who's not going to want to know about the economy leading into 2026, right? Like,
especially in February.
You ain't kidding.
Oh yeah,
You ain't kidding.
I'm looking forward to that. That keynote speaker is going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to give a ending shout out. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, I'll just say Burrows Post Frame is in booth 415. They're like pretty much right in the middle. They got the biggest booth on the floor. They're really actually just a stone's throw away from where we're at. And I'm super excited to come over there and check you guys out. We're bringing a whole team. I think we're gonna be pretty deep in our booth, so we'll probably have a little bit more maybe free time for Jared and I to come over and hang out and get a real combo going. And man, and can't wait to learn more about your business, because IdeaRoom is we've been tight with IdeaRoom, and we're doing business with them on a big level. And man, anybody using IdeaRoom, we want to be friends with and partners with, because I think at the end of the day, the customer facing, I can't believe we haven't even said this, the customer facing build tool for a consumer to use on a website is the next level of lead generation, which obviously leads to sales and then the need for more builders. So excited to.
Well, just since we've been on here, I saw a message notification come up on my phone. One of my clients is, "Do you have my IdeaRoom set up yet?"
Yeah. There it is.
They know.
Yep.
They know.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. It's like this. It's like this. If you need a good partner for a 3D configurator in the steel space or post frame, give the team at IdeaRoom a call. Dan and his team are excellent. They will do whatever they can to set you up in a way to be successful for your customers. The team at Defined SEO can implement that 3D design tool to be a sales funnel for leads that you can turn into sales and make them profitable. And as those leads come in, talk to the team at Velocity 360. They will be happy to help you organize those leads into a operational AI-driven sales force and a sales funnel that will turn those leads into cash and done deals. And once you're done with that, contact the team at Cal for order management. They're doing some really crazy things with IdeaRoom integrations right now. All ships lead to more sales for you. Contact the team at J Money for financing needs. They will be happy to help you out. Josh, brother, it has been a true honor to have you on here, to give us the time. We know you're busy, and we want to let you get to that. But I can tell you guys, truthfully, Oklahoma City, February 25th through the 27th, save the date. I've got it right here. You know, I've got it on my desk. I am super excited for what's to come the next few weeks. Check us out next week. We're going to have another NFBA guest. We're going to be talking more about the Trade Expo. We're going to be talking more about what the industry can do for you, what Post Frame can do for you tomorrow. I'm Jared. He's Eric. Josh from Burrows. We're out for this week on the Steel Kings podcast. But what I can tell you guys is I'm going to leave you like I always do. Get out in your community and do something good for somebody else. get 2026 off on the right foot, and we will see you back next week with another episode of podcast. Peace out, guys. Steel Nation, thank you for tuning in to the Steel Kings podcast. If that episode fired you up, make sure you hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who is ready to level up. We drop powerful episodes every week filled with strategies, stories, and real talk from the builders shaping the industry. Stay hungry, stay focused, and keep building stronger. Make sure to visit us at thesteelkings.com for more resources and industry tools. This is the Steel Kings podcast, where the industry talks back. See you in the next one.
Before you go, the J Money team wants to thank you for listening to today's Steel Kings podcast. Remember, money is king, and if you need a financing option on your portable wood sheds or steel buildings, we are here to help. Just check us out at jmoneyllc.com for more information, and don't forget to catch the next episode of the Steel Kings podcast, and have a great day.